Greetings, everyone. It's been a long time since we've done one of these, mostly because IGN's been afraid of us to make more lists. Huzzah.
We're making some sort of presence in the internet community. No, actually, we're not. We just haven't had the time for these lists. But we're back, and what is the subject of today's video?
According to IGN, it is the top 90 animated characters of the 90s.
Technically, this isn't even really a new list. It's like an old list that they've revamped. So it's like, okay, they're going back to their retro roots, and in response, we're doing the same.
IGN Generations.
Oh God, no.
Well, so the original, classic IGN is Game Sages.
Yeah. Or Game Winners, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But basically how this works, if you never really tuned into our list videos, they're pretty much long fucking podcasts where we discuss IGN's placement of characters or subject matters on the list and whether or not they got good placement. Most of the time, though, it just turns out to be an excuse to just talk about the subject matter at hand, completely forgetting we're doing a fucking list.
Yeah, so if you've got like laundry to do or something, you should probably go ahead and do that. Or
Get
whatever.
yourself a cup of coffee, tea, energy drink, whatever it is you wake yourself up at 2 a.m. with. Wait, that's probably a bad time for caffeine, isn't it? I should reevaluate my eating habits.
Yeah. Well, you eat coffee, okay.
So I just take the container of Coffee Mate off my mother's kitchen counter and dump it down my throat without even adding it to anything.
All right. Well, who wants to get? Well, Ryan, you started us off. So number 90.
Number 90 is Vince LaSalle from Recess.
Recess. The 90s grade school version of a sitcom.
Yeah,
I loved Recess. It was awesome.
That was during the morning block of on Disney on ABC or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm of the similar mindset. Never watched Recess.
I've watched a few episodes, but not a ton.
It's weird. I probably watched it the most, and it's weird because in England we don't call it Recess. So as a kid, I was just like, I don't know what Recess is, but I like this show. It's fun.
Wait, so what do they call it in England?
I think it sounds dumb, but I think they just call it. It's been a while since I was in grade school. I mean, I only left last year, but from what I remember, I think they just call it Playtime, which doesn't sound as cool as Recess, I grant you, but we don't call it Recess.
Playtime sounds like the Nick Jr. equivalent to Recess.
Is Recess too adult for you to come to Nick Jr.? We have Playtime! It is weird how all of the characters, I mean, they are kind of stereotypical. I mean, like you have the jock Vince, like this character. He's like the cool jock, and then you had like the nerd, the kind of the tough kid, the leader, the wimp, and the big fat guy who sings.
Yeah, but why are all these people friends, though? Because if I remember my elementary school, all these people stayed as far away from each other as possible.
Because they're stuck together in a really small school playground where they can't get away from each other, so they might as well, you know?
Because, to be fair, this school they went to, it was the most cliquey fucking school you could ever go to. Like, there's two kids who just dig all day, there's one girl who just goes on the swings all day,
Upside Down Girl. Yeah.
Upside Down Girl. It's like every kid had to have like a gimmick, otherwise they weren't allowed into the school. It was like there was no just like bland people there, except for Gus. But whatever. But I love that show. That show was. You know what? The best thing about that show was every time they went to go do one of TJ's schemes, that awesome fucking plan music would kick in. The doon 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 doon. I just fucking love that shit. You know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna go watch Recess. Fuck the rest of this list. I love it.
Back up, Derek.
Beep, beep. It's like a giant Game Explain truck just pulls in.
Cartoon. Derek's new show, Cartoon Explain. I'm here. I remembered the Recess.
And it's like, that just reminds me of how every so often you get that urge to watch one of the cartoons you watched in the 90s. That nostalgic feeling that it was pretty good. Maybe you should go revisit it. Then you do revisit it, and you're too old to really see the good anymore.
Yeah, that always sucks.
It wasn't a 90s, but a few years back, I went back and rewatched the 80s Thundercats show, and it's fucking terrible. It's like one of the worst things ever made by anyone. It's so bad.
Going back to rewatch any cartoon from the 80s or earlier is suicide. Oh, man. Unless you're doing it, like, just to laugh at how bad it is, like in the case of He-Man.
Fucking He-Man. There's a character in that show called Fisto. What the fuck were they smoking back then?
Oh, man.
All right, I guess we should move on to number 89 then.
Yeah. Smashing.
I'll do this with my hands.
Okay, I'm gonna raise my hand and confess something. Nigel Thornberry, the Wild Thornberries, never watched this show.
This show sucks.
It was a terrible show.
Wasn't even aware of its existence until this asshole started popping up in early 2000 internet memes all over the place. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Nigel Thornberry was always my favorite of.
Well, because he was voiced by Tim Curry.
Because he was voiced by Tim Curry.
Tim Curry,
I
yeah.
love Tim Curry. The show in itself, I was indifferent towards since the beginning, and then as it kept appearing, interrupting my SpongeBob and Hey Arnold, I kept watching it, and I just didn't get any better because I don't like anybody here.
I mean,
The show should have been about Nigel.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest turnoff is, of course, what's the girl who can speak to animals called?
Oh,
Eliza.
Eliza, yeah.
Yeah, she's fucking Princess Elise. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
But she gets really fucking obnoxious and self-centered later down the road. Like, and I guess that's like the character arc for her. Like, she needs to learn how to stop doing that.
Okay. 90s cartoons should never have character arcs. The networks never play the episodes in order anyway.
Very true. I mean, I never watched it because it's the same art style kind of that Aru Monsters had, and it worked fine for the monsters. But I hate the human designs and like this style of human design.
It's the lips. It's the lips of the beady eyes.
Yeah, they look fucking horrible. And also, the show was just boring to me. Like, these are the worst parents ever. Like, fucking, like, I love the older teenage goats hates everything, and that's how I think I would react if I was forced to do this shit. Like, I don't give a shit, alright? I would go to fucking the mall and speak to someone who's not a fucking tiger, alright? Get me out of this place.
That character archetype is so stereotypical of 90s media because there was one of those teenage girls in everything.
Yeah, but in the Wild Thornberries, it makes sense because your parents are dragging you all over the world, which I assume when you're like Eliza's age, like 10, that's pretty cool. But when you're like 16, you're probably sick of it by that point, you know? So.
And I'm going to call her because, like, the mother is the camera person. I'm sure Johnny could attest to that. Look at that picture. That tiny fucking little mic. No way in the fucking jungles of Africa would that pick up Nigel.
You know what that's picking up? Wind. That's exactly what that's picking up.
That is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I love it if like the ultimate irony is that like their show is being broadcast nowhere. It's just these two crazy parents are dragging their kids around to make very elaborate, badly filmed home movies.
Check that camera, Eliza. No batteries.
No, like the camera doesn't even have film inside it. It's just a hollowed out piece of plastic with a lens and a hamster wheel on the inside.
Oh yeah, that'd be like the greatest joke. Like to end the series, like. The mother looks at the camera, the lens cap was on the entire time. Fuck.
And then Nigel just smashes the camera.
Yes.
What kind of parents let their children hang around with a goddamn baboon all day? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's really dangerous. Baboons are ill-willed motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like those baboons aren't even IR baboons. So why the fuck would you want to? That's bullshit.
Yeah. Nigel Thornberry is the best part of the show, but that's also why I'm not contesting its position at 89.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a fine number for a character. I mean, people only know him because of the smashing meme now anyway. Like, describe him. He's got a mustache and he says smashing. 10 out of 10. Go watch it again. I just want him to fucking have the Pennywise voice. It all floats down here. Smashing.
Oh, man. Number 88 is actually something I watched.
Beastie!
Optimus Primal of BSC.
Only 88? Fuck this shit!
Well, okay. Welcome to the wonderful world of '90s CG animated cartoons.
Oh God, this
Hey,
looks awful.
hey, I will hear no shitting on Beast Wars, Lewis. Check your privilege.
Okay, some of them were really good, like Reboot, and I seem to remember enjoying Beast Wars. Although that might just mean I had shit taste at the time. I'm not sure.
No. I will
Years.
defend Beast Wars. You go back and rewatch it. The animation, especially the landscapes, look horrible. I will attest though the actual animation, the way the characters move, it's still pretty good. It's just the texturing's weak. I will also like
Everything looks like ass, basically. Like, and that was just par for the course for '90s CG cartoons. Did you ever watch which version of Johnny Quest was it with the Quest World thing going on?
That was the '90s version, yeah.
There were like 3 different Johnny Quest shows. I don't know why. It was a freaking boring as fuck show, but
The only good thing to come from Johnny Quest is Venture Brothers.
yeah. Well,
But I would say, I like. Also, we should say that in this list, there's like little bullet points for the characters, and the first one is Optimus Primal was going to be a direct continuation of Optimus Prime. There was originally a comic book written where I think it was like the G1 Prime and Megatron. And I think Prime was a monkey or the ape, and I think Megatron was an alligator. But it kind of spammed one of the first kind of fandom dumb moments, like the Sonic Green Eyes things, where fans would just scream "truck, not monkey." But monkey was misspelled. Monkey was spelled MUNKEY. Truck, not monkey. Truck, not monkey.
Here's my issue with the whole concept of Beast Wars. Okay, in order for any of these transformations to actually work as disguises, because robots in disguise. That's most of the robots would have to shrink down to about 1/3 of their height.
Well, no. See, that's the thing. In the Transformers in Beast Wars aren't the same size as the robots in G1. They are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
They work out to be roughly. I mean, yes, you get ones like Rat-Bat is not Rat-Bat. Rat Trap is far too big to be a rat. But like Optimus Primal, he would be about the size of an actual gorilla.
Boy, that make the ending of Peter Jackson's King Kong a hell of a lot more interesting. Like it's like
if he transformed
by the planes, fucking transforms.
He just transforms and then just says, "Well, that's just Prime," like blowing shit up.
That would have been a lot more worth sitting through the long ass scenes of dinosaurs tumbling over each other for 3 hours.
Yeah, I was like, hey, yeah. You didn't even need to wait to the end. Like during the T-Rex battle, just fucking transforms into Optimus Prime.
The best bit where who's the woman in King Kong?
Oh, nobody cares.
The scene where she's fucking juggling for 6 hours. Just step on her, just transform and step on her, man. But no, Optimus Primal, he was a great leader. Like I love that show. He's a great character. He should be a lot higher on this list. Fuck you, IGN.
I never got Transformers. Honestly, I don't care. I've never cared. I don't think I ever will.
Well, you have no soul, Ted, so that's why.
Well, we already know that.
All right. 87 is Launchpad McQuack.
From DuckTales and Darkwing Duck. Two
Those
shows.
fucking shoulder
Double
pads, I
dipping.
love it.
Okay, so who is this guy? Like,
He's the goofy sidekick in those shows. Like,
Well, no,
he flew the plane.
oh, okay.
Yeah, basically in DuckTales he was Scrooge McDuck's kind of like personal pilot, and I think in Darkwing Duck he was just Darkwing Duck's like sidekick. He would just help. He would go on like missions with him. But in DuckTales he really just flew the plane for Scrooge, and his thing was he would crash everywhere. Launchpad McQuack, of course, is also responsible for the best song that Sex Bomb ever made.
Okay.
Johnny gets it. Johnny gets it.
I just recently read the comics too, because the new colored series just came out.
The song is called Launchpad McQuack. That's not the real name.
But it's like Launchpad McQuack was like one of the earliest instances in my childhood to teach me the concept of continuity, or at least lazy, reuse
Writing.
of stock assets, because every time I watch Saturday morning cartoons and I see and the scene starts off with Launchpad McQuack, I keep asking myself, am I watching DuckTales or Darkwing Duck? I don't know. I have to wait for a bit because he's in the same fucking shows.
Did they ever have any episodes where other characters were in either show, or
No, not that I
No,
remember.
because I think DuckTales ended before Darkwing Duck started, so there wasn't any kind of like crossover. He just appeared. I forget what the city Darkwing Duck lived in. If MBM was here, he would know. But I think he just appeared in that city.
okay.
You know, type of thing. I think because as Johnny said, like the kind of connecting franchises. I think it's probably good that Disney owns Marvel now, because of course the Marvel Cinematic Universe was inspired by DuckTales and Darkwing Duck.
Yeah. They were just setting up an Avengers movie that never was.
Exactly. I call bullshit though that Launchpad McQuack is better than Optimus Primal. Fuck you, IGN.
The Darkwing Duck City is Saint Canard.
Yeah. So I'm not again. I'm in terms of geography. I'm not sure the relation between Duckburg and the city that Johnny just said that I already forgot the name of. But
God, we're nerds.
yeah. But I'm not sure what the crossover is. I mean, I haven't watched Darkwing Duck in years. I'm not sure if they even mentioned Scrooge McDuck at all. But yeah, whatever. We can just assume that Launchpad McQuack is so incompetent that Scrooge McDuck fired him and he moved to Darkwing Duck City.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll be an anti-hero crime fighter.
Anti-hero crime.
I'm looking at number 86 now. What am I looking at?
I don't know. I've never heard of this series.
This is
It's
Niddler. No, this is Pirates of the Dark Water. This was a
What
thing
the
during the
fuck?
mid-90s, and that's all I'm going to tell you about, because I did not watch this show because this was on the transition of moving away from... let me see. I think I remember Pirates of the Dark Water during... And forgive me if this is a little obscure here. There used to be a very early morning block of cartoons on Cartoon Network. I think it was Carrot Top's Aham Mayhem. And yeah, I know. But it was the way of like I can watch fucking. What was the name of?
You can watch fucking on Cartoon Network. Count me in.
Carrot Top does wonders with his props. You know,
You're making this sound dirtier and dirtier, Johnny. With each sentence.
Fuck, I'm trying to remember the name of the other cartoons that played during that block, and the only one that I think I remember of some sort was like the Adventures of like of Mac or something like that. I'm not sure about that. But Pirates of the Dark Water was also part of that block, but that was around the time when school was about to start, so I never caught it, and by the time I started watching it, it was already too late. Didn't have interest in it. I hear it has a massive cult following, and I think it has a video game, but
what cartoon show in the early 90s doesn't have a crappy video game, though?
Okay, I've never heard of that show, and I've never heard of this next show either. Number 85 is Eek the Cat from Eek the Cat.
Oh, yeah, I remember Eek the Cat. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eek the Cat.
you want to know what this reminded me of? Like, I even thought this back then, Bubsy. Like,
kind of like a mix of Bubsy and Bonkers.
No, I see more Garfield than either of those.
Let's see. The series spoofed numerous films such as A Clockwork Orange.
So it was Conquer before Conquer.
Kato Kalin of the O.J. Simpson trial was scheduled to guest star, but Fox nixed the idea. You know, I can't credit Fox for good decisions very often, but that seems like one.
See, the thing is, the only thing I remember about this show was the intro. I never really watched it. But I know of this character, and again, I apologize. I'm sure this is going to become a source of contention. But how the fuck is this guy better than Optimus Primal? I don't buy it.
Gareth, every list we do, there's always something that at least one of us absolutely loves that's in like the bottom 10, and then there's a bunch of bullshit filler in the middle, and we're wondering, how is this better than so-and-so? Like, when it was the Nintendo games, I was like, how is this better than Banjo-Tooie was something I would say, or why is this better than Full Metal Alchemist, or whatever.
You know what that is? It's because they want to keep people reading through the entire list, like we're doing right now. So they put really good things throughout the entire thing, even as far back as the bottom. So that
but then you stop to think about it, like, wait a minute, that's some shitty placement.
Yeah,
I know, it is fucking. That's some bullshit.
To go back to what you guys said, you guys remember seeing this guy's face, not so much the cartoon. I gotta share that sentiment because I think they worried more about putting this cat on merchandise than the cartoon simply because of his shit-eating face.
I never saw his face. In fact, the only feeling of familiarity I got from Eek the Cat when I looked at the picture was why is this What's this charcoal gray Garfield doing here?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's
He's
like,
purple.
I think
He's purple.
I think my cat spot was already taken by Garfield and friends, and maybe Heathcliff.
I only have room for one cat in my life, and that cat ain't
And
Garfield.
Tom
Get the
and Jerry's
fuck out
not
of
on
here.
tonight.
I didn't even remember Heathcliff existed until now. Now I'm gonna have to look that up later and remember.
Lewis, he
Heathcliff
terrorizes the neighborhood, and we can win it with him.
The first terrorist, Heathcliff.
Heathcliff, the original terrorist. The fuck?
From Cats to Dogs, number 84 is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Return the slab.
Okay,
Yeah.
Courage himself doesn't have an awful lot of character, so I really hope. What's the grandpa's name?
Eustace.
Eustace better be later on this list because I love him.
Booga,
Stupid dogs!
booga, booga.
You made me look bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like when you think about Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I don't speak for everybody here, or speak for anybody for that matter, but when you think about Courage the Cowardly Dog, are you more, infatuated with the villains or the current arc rather than the character himself?
It's either the bad guys, Eustace, or the computer that I always liked in Courage, not Courage himself.
The smart-ass computer.
Yeah.
I never really watched Courage. I think Courage. I think it came on around that time. I kind of stopped watching cartoons for us. So I never really watched it. All I remember is he would just whenever I think of Courage, I think of him screaming annoyingly, and like the big hole would appear in his tooth, which would freak out. Like that's go see a fucking dentist, mate. That ain't fucking good for your teeth, son. Like
Courage the Cowardly Dog was a fun show, but it suffered. Of all the cartoons, it felt the most like it was a single one-shot short. Which is what all of the original cartoons were. They were one-shot episode pilots that showed during this collection episode of a bunch of different pilot episodes.
I remember that pilot episode too.
well, I mean, the original Courage show, the one with the space chicken, it was either nominated or won an Oscar. Like the
Voiced by
original
Ringo.
Courage show was. Yeah, the original cover show was very highly rated, which it's pretty good. It's on YouTube. It's pretty good.
That episode was great. The What a Cartoon show, that was what it was called. What a Cartoon. So it showed up alongside such gems as the pizza delivery skit, where the guy had to deliver a pizza to the Arctic in like 5 minutes or less, and showed up 5 minutes and 1 second late.
Along with prototype Family Guy.
Yeah, Larry and Steve. Larry and Steve's hilarious. That show was
It's
great.
Family Guy before Family Guy.
It is. It's actually funnier than most Family Guy episodes now are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. I not a whole lot to say about Courage himself, though.
So then, I'm guessing that one of the other characters from the show will be on the list anyway. So let's go to the next one, which is Ace and Gary, the ambiguously gay duo.
It's the gay duo.
I will. This coming from Saturday Night Live. I'm aware of these two. Like I've heard that theme song. I have never seen anything of these two, so I know literally nothing about this.
It's just one joke in that, oh my gosh, Batman and Robin are probably gay. Ha 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 ha. You know.
Yeah, they ride a dick ship.
They stole Rouge the Bat's car. Those fucks.
Bullet point 1: a live-action movie was nearly made for the duo.
Okay.
Would they have been able to do that in the 90s?
Well, it probably would have been rated R, but yeah, they could have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening I don't see it being done very gracefully, but whatever.
Well, apparently Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell were the voices, which is
Yeah, they were.
Those two are some funny guys.
Oh yeah, but they probably wouldn't have voiced the characters in a live-action movie, so... Yeah, I still don't see that happening very well. Number 82 is Norbert
Hold on.
Beaver of the Angry
That's
Beavers.
82 and 81 are Norbert and Daggett, respectively. So
Why is
combine them
Daggett
into
better
one.
than Norbert? Like,
Because, okay, let's be honest here. When you were younger, you liked Daggett. when you're older, you like Norbert.
Norbert.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I like Norbert and Daggett were like going back to it now. It's like it's Salem the cat and Invader Zim are brothers. I fucking love this show, you know.
But, to be fair, Daggett is voiced by Richard Horowitz, so
Yeah, I mean, like Norbert. I mean, I always find myself like I love when Norbert would get like the one where Daggett keeps bopping him, and Norbert's, I'm gonna bop you in the last week. Like I love that. How long have we been awake? Like I love that shit.
yeah, it literally punches him into last week.
Yeah.
It always bothered me that the show was called The Angry Beavers when Daggett was really the only one that was angry all the time.
Yeah, they're not very angry.
Norbert was high off his mind most of the time, I was convinced. I have a
He probably has to be to put up with Daggett.
yeah, pretty much. Muscular beaver!
Well, you know, Daggett is the loud, obnoxious kind of angry, and the other one is just the MySpace kind of angry. The one that looks all emo and disaffected.
Yeah, the one that probably spends most of his day shitposting.
He's just seething the whole time.
I haven't watched a full episode of The Angry Beavers probably in about 15 years, but I remember loving this show when I was a kid.
It holds up, dude. Seriously, like it. I was like before Christmas. I went to a friend's house and we watched like 2 hours of it. It's still a fucking good show, man.
My brother and I grew up loving the show, and we had a bit of like a dynamic between each other because there were two beavers. There were the two of us at the time. Because this is around the time Elliot was just born, and Stevie was doing his own thing. He didn't really watch cartoons with us, so me and Mark really related to these two, just because, you know, I came off as a Norbert and he was the small, obnoxious one. And
Oh, sure, Johnny was the cool. All right, Johnny, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we asked your brother, you'd be like, no, I was the Norbert. I was the cool one. Johnny was the annoying one.
I knew one day I was going to be a future shit poster.
Fuck you, Sega. Rise of Lyric is bad.
I don't know why I felt like typing that in the 90s. It was very prophetic.
Okay, well, in that case, number 80... Crumb? Why is Crumb lower than all the other monsters from Mario Monsters?
Salacious Crumb, yeah.
He's on...
That's a good one, Ryan. That's a good
Real
one.
Monsters, and he's the one, for those of you who don't know, who carries his eyeballs in his hands and is basically a
Yep.
giant naked face with massively long armpit hair.
I really liked him from when I watched the show. I mean, Real Monsters wasn't something I watched religiously, but I enjoyed the episodes that I did see. And Crumb I always liked more than... I forget the like, I mean, he was kind of tied with the red one, but I liked him more than the...
Ickis.
Okay, I liked him more than
Oblina.
the candy cane-looking girl.
Oblina.
Yeah, I liked him more than her, so...
Well, see, the thing about like their personalities, it was kind of like Oblina was the kind of Oblina was like the perfect student. She was like the best at everything. Ickis was like the small little. He was kind of neurotic. He was always worried about living up to his father's reputation. His father was like the greatest monster who ever lived. Crumb was just kind of like the laid back one who's like, yeah, come on, guys, you know, let's just do whatever, you know, whatever. I always liked that.
I remember he had some of the funnier jokes because his monster gimmick was a little bit more entertaining. Like holding the eyeballs in his hands allowed for more visual humor than especially Ickis, who's just kind of a red little thing. So,
Yeah, Ickis was cool. I liked him.
But what about Rocky Horror Teacher?
Oh yeah, Tim Curry voiced the teacher too.
The Grumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Zimbo.
Zimbo.
It was Greg Berger was the Grumble.
Yeah, but he was clearly doing Tim Curry with it.
I loved it. It was because Tim Curry voice. You know, like there was the tension person. There was like the
Yeah,
big
the Tim
strong
Curry
monster,
voice,
and like no, Tim Curry was the little like fly that hung around with like the strong imposing monster.
Yeah, that character's name is Zimbo.
Anyway, yeah, but like my favorite thing about fucking the Grumble is his fancy red shoes.
Yeah.
This show was fucked up, man.
I haven't watched it in years.
Same here.
There are some Nicktoons that I can go back to easily. Real Monsters is unfortunately not one of them because it played up more of the vulgarity and visual humor that I loved back then. Not so much today, where I'm more listening to the kind of writing it was catering towards.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think it satisfies that urge.
I have very fond memories of the show, but like Johnny, I'm sure if I went back to it now, it wouldn't still hit me the way something like say Hey Arnold, I can still watch that and over again, 'cause the writing on that show was so strong. But yeah, Our Monsters was a bit more visual.
Yeah,
It was a
rather
good
than-
it was a good kids show.
There are some shows that can do that sort of thing and still hold up. Like I would say, Ren and Stimpy and SpongeBob are good examples.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure we'll be seeing SpongeBob characters more towards the top of the list. if I
Yeah,
had to
it's
guess.
just that kind of stuff needs good writing to back it up. Otherwise, it's not going to hold up over time. It's just going to be another wacky looking cartoon.
Yeah.
Number 79 is one thing I have kind of a problem with this list is it's Balu from Tailspin, who was technically a character first in Jungle Book, and that was way older than the 90s IGN.
Well, yeah, but in Jungle Book, he never. What is he doing here? Piloting.
He's a delivery man.
Oh, yeah, he's got like a pilot's hat on. What? Why is Baloo in Tailspin? What is Tailspin about?
It was
Brand name recognition.
Yeah. Let's put Jungle Book characters in a cartoon show and make it about delivering stuff.
Well, see, it's weird though, because after Tailspin in the late 90s, they had Jungle Cubs, which was the Jungle Book characters as children in the jungle, which makes more sense than, let's make Baloo a fucking pilot. Because if you remember, Jungle Book takes place ostensibly in the real world, and the only reason Mowgli can speak to the animals was he grew up with them. Obviously that wouldn't happen, but in the context of the movies, because he was raised by them, he can speak their language. You couldn't imagine if Jungle Book 2 was Baloo flies planes. It doesn't make any sense.
Tailspin.
Oh my god! I never liked even as a kid. I thought Tailspin was fucking stupid. I never watched the show.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, I hated it. It was so dumb.
the theme song's pretty okay.
No, it wasn't.
I don't even remember the theme song because I'm saying mine.
OEO, Tailspins, OEO, kill me now.
I
OEO.
remember Chip and Dale.
Fuck yes, you do.
But not Tailspin. Again, this is one of those cartoons that I was aware of, didn't really watch.
It was easily the weakest it was easily the weakest of the Disney afternoon.
Except one time, I clearly remember this. In 1994, I visited my grandfolks in Puerto Rico. I watched Tailspin in Spanish. Didn't understand a word that was going on, though, because I didn't speak the language.
Probably made the show better.
Yeah, Johnny, I'll be honest, mate, I grew up watching this in English. I don't fucking know what's going on in the show.
On that note, something a lot more memorable and ironically comprehensible. Number 78 is Lydia Deetz from Beetlejuice, the animated series.
Based off an 80s movie.
I think I've watched maybe like one episode of the Beetlejuice TV show.
I remember enjoying it. Not as much as the movie, obviously, because, well, the movie's fucking brilliant, but no, the cartoon was pretty good. It was an example of one of the 90s movies that got an animated series that was actually pretty decent. This I didn't know until now. Lydia is voiced by Alison Court, the voice of Resident Evil 2's Claire Redfield.
Oh.
Well, see, the thing was, this was, as Lewis said, it was also an example of bafflingly the 90s making cartoon shows based on R-rated 80s movies.
Yeah, like RoboCop and a few other things.
If you were to watch Beetlejuice, would you think this guy needs a children's car? The only thing when I think of the movie, because Beetlejuice, it's a great movie, but there's Beetlejuice is barely in the movie. The only thing I remember is him kicking down a gravestone, screaming "nice fucking motto," and then squeezing his dick twice. Give this kid a kid's show, okay?
Yeah, the 90s did that kind of shit a lot, but at least cartoons can stand on their own as a thing kids can enjoy without necessarily the movie existing. The toys, though. What the fuck? RoboCop toys? Independence
Alien
Day
toys.
Alien toys. Yes, perfect example. I had no fucking idea who Ripley was. I just thought the aliens looked cool.
And that's what they're counting on.
But I mean, going back to this, again, I haven't watched it in years. I think, like Our Room Monsters, I think Shout Factory recently just released the whole show on DVD. I remember liking it as a kid. I remember from what I can remember from rewatching a few things, the animation was pretty good for a 90s show.
Check the intro.
The intro is so fucking good.
They still hold up. I was watching it a few weeks ago. They are really good.
It's like the music is very. I'm not they may have gotten Danny Elfman to do at least the theme music, because as I'm sure he'll pop up a few times. Like Danny Elfman did the theme songs for a shitload of '90s cartoons.
Yeah.
Huh.
So like and like it feels it does, like, obviously it's watered down in terms of the violence and sex and language, but in terms of the style and like the weirdness, it doesn't feel watered down in that regard from the movie. So like, I haven't watched it in years, but I have very fond memories of watching.
It is a very Burton-ish cartoon.
Yes, very
Which I
Burton-ish.
think translates better into that kind of medium, right? By now we're sick of it, and we're wondering where Johnny Depp is at. But
Come back, Johnny Depp! You were abducted 15 years ago.
I
We
remember
haven't seen
liking
you.
this show. Lydia
Yeah.
Deetz, I remember, like, it's like, wow, she's like nothing like her movie, in where she wants to die and like joy with the other world.
Yeah, in the cartoon, she's a bit more snarky.
She's a perky goth.
Yeah.
She's a perky goth. That's the greatest oxymoron I've ever heard in my
It's
life.
a really common cartoon stereotype though, because they want the goth character to be a reoccurring character, but they don't want them to be like depressing, so they have them be happy but also goth. It was in more 2000s cartoons than 90s.
Yeah, I would say Ted, like the goth character, kind of, because I think this was the earlier side of the 90s. That was kind of uncommon to have goth characters in kids' cartoons.
Yeah, she stuck out as a result, but I would say in a positive way, because I didn't mind Lydia. I thought Lydia was a good counterbalance to Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
who was constantly off the walls, and
Beetlejuice was like a crazier version of Freakazoid, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Freakazoid's on this list or not.
He better be.
You fucking better be. Oh, I'm leaving. I'm fucking leaving.
The thing that ultimately made the Beetlejuice cartoon work was that it didn't try to be the movie. It did very much its own thing. And, yeah, and that was why it worked as something for kids. It took the concept and transformed it into something that worked for that medium and that audience.
Yep.
Number 77 is CatDog. I love this show.
you want to talk about a
I
show
don't,
that I
I
can't go
don't.
back to.
Yeah, me neither. Winslow is so annoying.
Well, see, the thing about CatDog is it's great voice cast, great theme song.
CatDog. CatDog.
It's a very, very, very mean-spirited show.
Yeah, it's like nobody has happy endings in this cartoon.
It is ostensibly a show about this kind of mutated, misformed creature who everyone just wants to fucking beat the shit out of for no good reason. It's a very, very mean-spirited. I don't like it. It's so mean-spirited. I hate this show.
I remember really liking it when I was a kid. I remember watching a handful of episodes more recently, but that was also like 8 months ago, so I can't really remember very specifically. I remember this was always one of my favorites as a kid, and I loved the dynamic between cat and dog, because like they actually did like each other, even though cat was a little piece of shit and dog was really annoying. So like, I don't know.
I remember the first time I saw the pilot. It was bundled with the VHS Good Burger.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Because
Good
in England, it came with the Rugrats movie.
Did it? Oh, well, at least you had a better movie to compliment
Welcome
it.
to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger.
Because I'm pretty sure the CatDog quote unquote pilot, at least in England, was shown. Because if you go back and look at the pilot, it had much better animation.
Yeah.
Than the show did. It was actually shown in before the Rugrats movie in theaters.
Huh.
At least in England. I'm not sure what they did in America, but in England, I remember it be shown playing before.
I thought the show came out before the Rugrats movie, because the Rugrats movie was like early 2000, wasn't it? Or
No.
No, the Rugrats movie
late
was
90s,
98.
late 90s,
It came out in 98 because before the Pokemon movie, that it was the highest gross. The Rugrats was the highest grossing non-Disney animated movie before the Pokemon movie came out the year after it.
okay.
Yeah, and then Japan curb stomped America to the ground.
The only thing I particularly remember about CatDog was the made-for-TV movie, which had a total cop-out at the end.
Well, that was the one where they were trying to find their parents.
Their parents, and then the people they found claimed to be their parents, but they're like, yeah, we don't know where you came from either. We just kind of raised you.
I
What a great movie!
I'm gonna cut the show more slack than you guys are because I remember loving it. Like it was one of my favorites as a kid. I'd have to go.
Not to say it didn't have qualities, but
Yeah, it's just going back to watch it now, and literally, it's a story about these two brothers who have no friends in a world that just wants them dead. It's a very mean-spirited show, Ted.
Okay, well, I'm not. But they have each other, though. They have.
But everyone else wants to kill them for no good reason.
But they
Sometimes
have
you do need
each
to have
other.
those kind of mean-spirited concepts translated into I suppose, a more lighthearted medium, just to let it out. It's kind of like a defense mechanism in a way.
Well, it's just that so many episodes just end with the greasers just beating the shit out of them, and it's just like, I don't want to watch that in every episode.
Yeah.
Just these two hapless fucks get pummeled by characters 5 times their size.
Well,
That's not fun.
We all say this, but we're sitting in the middle of the second decade of the 2000s, wherein America seems to think in order for media to take itself seriously, it needs to be dark, edgy, and curse all the time, which is sort of fucking fan fiction authors' mentality of mature content. But whatever.
Okay, this is weird. Lisa Simpson is number 76.
Before we go anything, The Simpsons technically debuted in '89. Your list is wrong, IGN.
Very good point. Very good. Fuck you, IGN, you lazy
Well,
fucks.
I think we can give ourselves a little bit of leeway here for characters because when we say 90s cartoons, we're not necessarily talking about cartoons that debuted after 1990. We're talking about that.
Yes, we are.
That particular long era, that style of cartoons.
Yeah, but
as opposed to the way the 80s and the 70s.
No, Lewis, I would actually disagree with you there because so far, and I'm going to assume most of the shows in this are going to be kind of children's cartoons. Simpsons, like yes, children can watch it, but it's geared more towards adults. I wouldn't put The Simpsons in the same category as something like CatDog or Tailspin.
Well, I wouldn't either, but still, I'm just talking about the year.
It's kind of weird, though, because I was thinking we would only have to stick with cartoons that are from the 90s, but then do we count cartoons that started in the 90s and continue on? Because I guarantee you SpongeBob characters and Rugrats characters are going to be on this list eventually, and they went way into the 2000s. So
And do we count, like, comic book adaptations of comic books or something? Because needless to say, we'll be getting into some Batman stuff. It's like all these characters besides Harley Quinn debuted way before the 90s, so...
Yeah. Well, it's also because, I mean, to go off from what Ryan said, if you want to get really technical, Lisa Simpson debuted in '87 on the Tracy Ullman Show. This is... With the 89, you can kind of, it's close enough to the... Because it was... The first episode premiered, Christmas 89, which you can be like, okay, that's practically the 90s. But no, these characters have been around since 87.
Yeah.
These are characters from the 80s.
But let's be honest here. Who remembers The Simpsons from the Tracy Ullman show?
I don't even remember. I'm not even sure if that show was aired in England.
The Simpsons only really got super good around season 3 or 4, which was probably...
Which was 90s.
Yeah, so...
And then about 10 years later, everyone became Flanderized to hell.
Yeah. They may have necessarily not have started in the 90s, but they sure as hell made their impact in the 90s. So I think that's what they're banking on. And I'll let it pass because I agree. I can't go back to season 1 Simpsons because the animation... I can't. The
animation's awful.
The animation's awful, and it didn't find that spark yet. I mean, there are a few glimmers, but I can't watch it as much as season 2 and beyond. Because
I think season 1 has some good. One of my favorite episodes is still Bart the General, the first episode of Nelson. Again, as a whole, season 1, there's very few jokes in season 1, but it's weird if you compare a season 1 episode to a current episode. In season 1, you can tell that they're actively trying to tell an actual story.
Yeah.
As opposed to now, it's just here's kind of a story and here's just a joke every 6 seconds. Part of me kind of wishes they would kind of go back to let's actually try and tell a. Because around season 12, The Simpsons it had this weird thing where Act 1 would kind of be its own self-contained story,
and then they just transitioned into something completely random.
Exactly. But the first at least definitely season 1, the whole episode is one story. I mean, occasionally you would have subplots here and there, but I miss that kind of. I mean, it's something that South Park adopted. Where like it's like just one A story, and like I kind of miss that. But
it became more Family Guy, as it.
Ironically.
Kind of, ironically, but I mean, to go back to Lisa Simpson, I mean, I like Lisa Simpson. I mean, I'm not sure how effective this is, but in one of the, because as a kid I used to collect Simpson comic books, and like I would buy the trades, and Matt Groening would occasionally write an intro for those trades, and in one of them he says that Lisa is his favorite character. So I'm sure if Matt Groening was watching this list, he'd be like, "Fuck you, IGN, put my favorite character 76."
Well, no wonder Lisa became a perfect little smartass later.
Well, wasn't that always her thing, that she was way smarter than everyone else?
Yeah.
She was smarter than other people, but she was still a kid.
Well, I would say, Ryan, recently, I think they've actually made her more kid-like. Like, I've been watching some of the most recent season, which I think is pretty good. But like, I think
she was a person that got straight A's in class, but would still sit down with her brother and watch Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah, the thing about The Simpsons, as I understand it, is that after a while, it started to get a little, very try hard.
Yeah.
It started to try a little too hard to hold viewers' attention, and that from that point in the series is where a lot of the off-the-wall concepts started cropping up. It was a lot more down to earth earlier on.
Who wants to see Homer get sexually assaulted by a panda bear? Not me.
Yeah.
Well,
it's weird you say that. It got more outlandish. Like, one of the most beloved episodes is in like season 5, Homer goes to space. You know, it's like
It begins!
By Simpsons standards, I mean.
That was non-alcoholic champagne.
Where'd you get that? Sears. But like, look, I like how you're saying by Simpson. Like, I don't, by any standard, having one of your characters go to space is fucking outlandish, man.
Watch out, they're ruffled.
okay, well, if Lisa's on this list, Homer and Bart are on it later.
Oh, no doubt.
So
No,
let's
definitely.
move
Bart
on to
better
number
be on the fucking
75,
list,
which is
yeah.
Spawn from Spawn.
Yeah, the specifically the Spawn animated series, which I watched a bit of. I had actually a VHS tape with.
The comics were from the 90s, too, so it counts.
Yeah, I had a VHS tape. I don't have a VCR anymore, so I can't find it and rewatch it and see if it's any good. But
They're all on
I
YouTube.
watched,
They're all on
like,
YouTube.
the first episode of the series, and it's pretty good.
Spawn is like the amalgamation of 90s comic book.
Oh yeah, it's dark and gritty and edgy.
Yeah, if it's not Rob Liefeld, it's Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it was, I mean, this was like, I think, the first kind of, because I mean, it was on HBO. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
it was the M-rated superhero show.
Yeah.
Which I remember clearly not being allowed to watch.
Yeah. There was also a live action movie around the same time, and
that was in '97, and I believe Todd McFarlane's confirmed he's just finished a script for a new Spawn movie,
Yeah.
which I'm sure no one will watch.
Because
or give a shit.
nobody cares about Spawn anymore. He's
well, you know, I kind of liked Spawn, the movie. That is, I thought it was. Okay.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
There are
it.
a few things like...
I thought it was okay, but I you know, it didn't hold my attention. So take that as you will.
I mean, Spawn, for me, like, Spawn, he's got a great name, he's got a great design, but I've never really cared too much about actually. I mean, the only thing I remember is there was the one fucking issue of the Archie Sonic comic book where they meet Spawn.
well,
It's like, who
wait,
approved
they
this
meet
shit?
Spawn in the Sonic. That's like Archie meets the Punisher, which yes is a thing
Well,
that
it's-
happened.
Or Archie meets the Predator, which also happened.
Or Archie meets Shark fucking NATO, which also happened.
You want to know what that's fucking like? Scooby-Doo meets Batman and Robin, which was an actual thing that happened multiple fucking times.
To be fair, that was 60s, 70s. Batman was just cheesy as hell.
Yeah,
so.
no,
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo meeting Superman, Batman makes sense. I mean, Super
Ryan,
Friends, Batman.
right?
sorry.
Did you not watch Batman Brave and the Bold? They meet again, and I'm sorry, this is the best fucking thing. Batmite give Scooby and Shaggy bravery, and they beat the fuck out of Joker and Penguin. You haven't lived until you've seen the scene of Shaggy just flat out punching the Joker in the face.
Better or worse
Fucking
than John
beautiful.
Cena saving the Scooby gang from a giant boulder?
You know what? It's not as good because when that happens, John Cena's theme, very badly edited, just starts playing as he's fucking moving a boulder.
Better or worse than the comic reboot?
Back to the subject of Spawn, though. You know,
Fucking
you said
John
he has a great
Cena.
design and everything, but that's about it. That pretty much sums up everything that I've seen that Todd McFarlane has ever touched straight down to video games. Like there's this game that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. It's called Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning, and it's basically a collaboration project between a bunch of creative names. R.A. Salvatore he's a Dungeons and Dragons novelist. Todd McFarlane on design. Some designers from Skyrim and stuff.
Wait, you said Kingdoms of
Amalur, and yeah, there's a Steam version, so you can...
Oh yeah, Grant Kirkhope, who did the Banjo-Kazooie music, did the music for Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yeah, and you know what? That game had a great design to it. A decent enough gameplay, good art style, all of that stuff. Todd McFarlane was on there as well, but much like a lot of the stuff that I see Todd McFarlane involved with, the story was very dry and unremarkable.
Well, I'm gonna say probably the most disappointing usage of Spawn is I think it was Soul Calibur
2. Yeah, he was Xbox's character.
It was released on Xbox, GameCube, and PS2. PS2 got Heihachi from Tekken. GameCube got fucking Link.
Best version.
And Xbox gets Spawn, a character that hadn't been relevant in 7 years at that point. But enjoy Spawn.
He had a few games. I think he had like maybe 2 games on the Dreamcast. He had a game on the Super Nintendo. If I were to go back, if you were to ask me what I immediately think of with Spawn, because I didn't really watch the cartoon a whole lot, never read the comics, I would say cool looking character, badass cape, Keith David.
Yeah, Keith David's voice. Mwah,
I only
beautiful.
remember 2 things from Spawn. One, obviously Keith David, and 2, Buttercup parodied him in that one Powerpuff Girls episode.
Oh my god, that's beautiful. Can't go outside. Too light. It's too light. Beautiful.
Okay, let's go to number 74 now, which I don't actually... Pepper and... Oh, wait, hold on! I know this character. I
still love this character.
Pepper Ann Pearson of Pepper Ann.
I recognize her design. That's it.
Yeah, she would later go on to change her last name to Potts and,
become
play
Iron Man's
sidekick to
assistant.
play sidekick to Iron Man and go through about 3 or 4 different face changes in the process.
It's you know what I like, this was a show I remember it aired about the same time as Recess. It never got the level of popularity to Recess. It's pretty much just as the thing says. It's basically about this girl Pepper Ann who lives with a single mother and her little sister Moose. But I'm like, take their mother away from children. She gives them terrible fucking names. Pepper Ann and Moose.
Well, Pepper Ann, like, it's stupid, but it's at least, like, 2 real names. Who names their kid Moose? Like...
Moose. I tell you who does. Idiots.
Wait, Moose? Wait.
Yeah, I don't remember watching this series all that much. I just remember it being kind of bland.
I liked it. There was this was the era of Disney where you would not get today. There's one episode where there's an episode where Pepper Ann gets self-conscious about not having a bra.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode.
I remember it's kind of funny because like in gym class, her gym teacher keeps talking about you need support, and Pepper Ann thinks she means a bra, and so her mother takes her bra shop, and at the end of the episode they go on like a trampoline, and the gym coach is like, Pepper Ann, where's your support? And she goes, you want to see my support? She lifts up her shirt to reveal her bra. Goes, here's my support, and the teacher goes, Pepper Ann, I was talking about like a friend to spot you while you're on the trampoline. She's like, oh. Okay, I'm gonna go kill myself now. Okay.
Oh, and you say CatDog is a mean-spirited show. All right.
Well, no, Ted. That's not mean-spirited. That is akin to like a fucking French fart. That's just a misunderstanding. After she did that, she wasn't beaten to death by everyone in the schoolyard like CatDog would have been.
The thing about Pepper Ann, I'm not holding it up as a shining example of '90s animation or anything, but it's kind of an odd duck among the other shows in terms of subject matter. Because there aren't a whole lot of... This is a cartoon that is meant for young girls to relate to. You didn't get a whole lot of that. You got a lot of wacky slapstick and a lot of heroes. But you didn't
if
get
it
a lot
was
of
for
Pepper
girls,
Ann.
it'd be very cutesy My Little Pony stuff.
Not necessarily. Well, that was more commonly, yeah.
We mean for girls in the sense that, like, girl aisle, boy aisle in the toy store. You know, there's
Yeah.
plenty. Most of these shows I would say are like gender neutral in terms of like appeal.
And but that's kind of the effect Pepper Ann was going for, is gender neutral appeal but relatable to girls, which wasn't something you saw often, and to an extent still isn't something you see a whole lot of.
No, because I mean, as we know, like certain shows will get cancelled if girls watch it, because we can't have Young Justice. Too many girls watch it.
Yeah, like because their logic is girls
Girls
don't
don't buy
as many
toys.
Yeah, and the show is supposed to be a commercial for toys.
That is such a stupid. Girls don't buy toys. What's the most selling toy of all time? Probably Barbie. You know, yeah, girls don't buy toys at all. Do they?
Girls don't
Yeah.
buy boys' toys because they're not. Oh God, we can get into the politics of gender
let's
toys all
let's not
day.
get into
so
it
let's,
here. We'll be here for 3 times as long as we would have.
I'll just say Pepper Ann, I liked it. Good character. I'm surprised how high she is on the list, but unlike Optimus Primal, I'm actually happy with
dude,
this.
we're not even at the third point yet.
No.
But Ted, nobody remembers the show, which is why I'm surprised how high she is.
Yeah, Pepper Ann is clearly here as mid-list filler, but
Mid-list filler.
yeah, like I said before, they're spreading out all the interesting entries, such as number 73. See that segue there? Carmen Sandiego from Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego, who I'm pretty sure everyone remembers, even if they didn't like the show.
Well, because it had the game show and the computer games and stuff,
Then that's where I step in. That's all I remember about Carmen Sandiego.
and the theme song. Yeah.
See, I only ever watched the cartoon. I never played the game or saw the game show. I only ever knew of this cartoon show.
Well, you know what? The third bullet point kind of explains a lot to me. Her show was created by Fox to help meet requirements to fill 3 hours of educational programming. So basically, Carmen Sandiego exists to meet quota.
both
yeah.
in the list and originally. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
That's out, Ted.
You know, in the realm of crappy, repetitive, formulaic 90s cartoons, Carmen Sandiego stands head and tails above the rest as something that I could actively watch at the time, so,
It's helped by its surprisingly decent animation for the time.
Yeah.
It was one of the better looking shows on the. I remember that even to this day. I remember how. I mean, again, it wasn't like I'm sure if you watched it today, it wasn't fantastic. But like compared to what else was on, it was surprisingly good animation, which always
it
helps.
sure as hell wasn't Hanna-Barbera, I'll say that.
Hey, you know what? Everyone gives shit. They were making episodes for $5,000. That's fucking good shit for $5,000.
Yeah, but that doesn't really erase the fact that you're seeing the same animations over and over and over again during that 10 minutes.
I like those walk cycles, Lewis. Fuck you.
Cycling backgrounds.
Okay. Number 72 is Coach McGuirk from Home Movies.
Yes.
I've never watched
fucking
this
yes.
show, so my God, what the hell am I looking at?
It's a kind of an indie show that somehow got on an Adult Swim.
It looks like a 5-year-old got a bunch of crayons and did a doodle.
Which I believe was the point. Because
Yeah.
this is a show you're not watching for any animation. You're listening to the adult.
Oh yeah,
content.
it's also weirdly deformed that it has to be intentional. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, also, I mean, this Coach McGuirk, he was voiced by H. John Benjamin, which everyone knows is either Archer or Bob from Bob's Burgers, one of the greatest voices of all time. And I believe the creator of the show voiced Brandon.
Yeah, he did because it was about his childhood.
Yeah, and so like, from what I understand, it was they would have like a basic outline, but most of the dialogue was improvised. And John H. Benjamin, like just some of the shit he would come up as the coach, like he was always trying to sleep with Brandon's mother, and like it was just shit like that was just hilarious.
huh?
Yeah, it was a good show. I don't think it would hold up particularly well today, but for the time, I remember the show being pretty good.
I would say the dialogue. I mean, obviously, even back then the animation was subpar, but I would say even the dialogue, especially whenever Coach McGuirk is on screen, that stuff's gone.
No, McGuirk's the best character on the show.
Oh yeah, hands down, hands down.
Okay, so number 71 is Ed Big Head from Rocco's Modern. This is Big Head better be later on the list because
Oh, Ed! We need TJ to do his Big Head impression.
Mrs.
Come
Big,
zip me up.
oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Mrs. Big Head.
I hate my life. This is another bizarre Nickelodeon show.
Oh, but I love Rocco's Modern Life. I can still go back to it. This show got away with so fucking much.
I know. What?
Cannot believe. It's not Ren and Stimpy bad, but god damn.
So, dude, Johnny, sometimes it's worse, man. Like, it's not as violent as Venice Navy, but some of the more adult jokes, like, fucking hell, how they get away with that
We're
stuff?
playing Spank the Monkey.
Oh,
It's
you know, in the 90s, a lot of cartoons had adult jokes that just flew over our heads when we were kids. They don't do that stuff much anymore because the ratings board is a lot stricter. But
I don't, not necessarily stricter. I think they're
just more vigilant, which amounts to the same thing.
Yeah. But man, the episode I remember the most from Rocco's Modern Life is two. There's the one where Rocco goes shopping. There's a 99% off sale.
Yes.
And there's also one where him and Heifer try to want to go to a drive-in movie, but they don't have one nearby, so they go to the movie theater. I remember it's small, but at least we can see it. And then two giant hippos or rhinos, come in, honey, there's plenty of room. But I love the Big Heads. They were some of the best recurring characters on the show.
Every time I think of Ed Bighead, I always think of one particular episode. I think it was when Heifer was suffering from a heart attack or something like that, and he's bedridden, and Rocco, Filbert, and Ed are recollecting their first time memories with Heifer, and before Ed Bighead got his face in a blender, he had this realistic looking frog face, like if Archer was Ed Bighead. That's what I remember comparing it to now, but it was fucking hilarious, and
I mean, Rocco was a great. I don't remember I forget how it was in America, but in England, Rocco's Modern Life was advertised as Nickelodeon's first cartoon. I'm not sure if
I don't recall it being that, but
in England, at least for Nickelodeon in England, Rocco's Modern Life was the first one aired. So in
hold
England,
on, let me
this was our
pull up
first one.
Wikipedia and do a quick.
Because I know.
It's one of the first, at least.
Rugrats, Rocco, and Ren and Stimpy were pretty much all made at the same time. But in England, I think Rocco just premiered first.
Yeah. Okay, hold.
I think in America it might have been Rugrats was first. I think in America.
first Nicktoon? I'm pretty sure it was Rugrats.
Yeah, but again, in England, the first Nicktoon premiered was Rocco. Well, that's what I remember. I could be wrong.
For those of you wondering, John posted the picture of the realistic face for Ed Bighead.
Oh.
That's fucking beautiful.
Oh. Okay.
That looks like a fucking green version of Ricardo the Half from Adventure Time. I love that.
Okay.
It's really, really big, man. We are all touched by his bigness.
Really, really big man. Oh, little poo.
Okay.